2020 is the year of the scam. Scams dominated our screens, from inventing Anna to the Tinder swindler to the dropout. Scams were blowing up our phones, or else Toyota is genuinely concerned about my car's extended warranty. And scams were all over our social media feeds, since everyone has at least one cousin who's in pretty deep at some MLM. But the biggest scam of all was right under our noses. Let's start with admissions. Since economics requires letters of recommendation from elite economists to even be considered at a place like this, almost all of us got master's degrees or did fancy pre-docs before coming to this program. The nepotism of this field has varsity blues written all over it.
What kind of things do you look for in a grad school applicant?
We consider applicants holistically. We take into account their personal accomplishments, their letters of recommendation, their personal statements, their academic records from where they studied before, their test scores, and all of that comes into our decision process. We want to mentor scholars who are committed to pursuing rigorous, rewarding research, really exciting ideas, and we're especially interested in recruiting applicants from traditionally and historically underrepresented and marginalized backgrounds.
Professor Shannon, you heard from some students who feel you've scammed them. How would you respond to these allegations?
I don't understand what you mean by that. Could you be more precise?
Well, according to our sources, basically everyone in the cohort took the standard real analysis course at the university because they thought they needed it to get in. Then you wrote to about half of them saying, "Unfortunately, based on this information about your course and carefully examining the syllabus, lecture notes, and textbook for the course, we cannot waive the 204 requirement for you. The requirement we use
Is based on roughly equivalent semester course of real analysis comparable to Berkeley 104, which covers abstract topology and metric spaces." Yeah. But what is the point of getting your PhD in economics if you don't know what upper Hemi continuity is?
And then there's the coursework.
Professor Karim, what would you say to the accusations that your class is a scam?
Listen, the students, they are always coming with incorrect conjectures. They always say, behavioral economics tells us that none of the games actually play out this way. But their preferences, they are just misspecified. Theory is like classical music. Do you agree? Professor Jansen, we've heard from some students that you're teaching the big lie. Pretty surprising to hear a Berkeley professor spreading conspiracy theories about the election.
No. You've got it all wrong. I teach the lie, the law of iterated expectations. But I only say it works if the relevant moments exist.
And we also have to watch our email. Phishing attacks are everywhere.
Hey, check out this email I got. I think it might be a scam.
Look at this. Hello class, I'm your 210A professor this semester. My ancestors came over on the Mayflower and I went to Harvard and worked for the president. I'm not asking you for a monetary investment, but I need you to invest your time in reading 4 econ history papers by Wednesday. I promise we'll talk about them and I won't spend the whole time telling you about the Kim Kardashian of ancient Rome. Please click this sign-up link to present a paper to the class. Yeah, I wouldn't click that.
Seems like a scam.
Come to think of it, this whole career path is a pyramid scheme.
Professor Romer, walk me through the career of an economics professor.
So first you go to a highly selective college, maybe you work as an RA. You then get into grad school and then you make your money by teaching undergrads. And then you go on the notoriously brutal job market where you work as an assistant professor and maybe you hire your own pre-docs and research assistants. Finally, when you get promoted to a professor, you can hire a bunch of assistant professors who complement your research agenda.
So how are things here at Berkeley, Professor Graham?
I'd say that things at Berkeley here are like the fire festival. You know, there's a lot of hype leading up to it, and the weather is great. but there are no resources, and the events take place in a very terrible facility. I mean, you've seen the seismic evaluations at Evans, but you know, the real scam, I believe, is that any of us were born at all into this cold, dark world, and the true scammer is God. Oh, hi, David.
Oh, Brian, it's not so bad. And to all the first years who feel like you're susceptible to so many scams, well, you're safe from one thing. In macroeconomics, we have strict no Ponzi conditions.
But the biggest scam of all, where did that Seidner money go?
Très bien. Sacre bleu. Mon Dieu, I know where the money went.
We're hearing from your colleague, Professor Zuckman, that you stashed away the 10.5 million Seidner gift. This is a striking allegation. What do you have to say?
Alright, the jig is up. But in my defense, Ben Handel told me that all our graduates get high paying jobs, and John told me that everyone smooths their lifetime income. So you guys can't tell me you need a raise. Do you agree?